Thank you, Bulavinaka, and very good morning to everyone. Bulavinaka. Winston, Kenny, and Yasa, Josie, Gita, Anna, and Mona, Paula, Zina, Kini, and Tino, and Sarai, Harold, and Gula. 5 short of the number of grandchildren I have back home. But those aren't any of my cousins or my children or my grandchildren. They are the names of the 13 cyclones that have struck Fiji since we ratified the Paris Agreement. Despite our islands being small targets in a vast Pacific, our homes have endured storms of a ferocity and scale unknown by living memory. And I could share hundreds of stories of the suffering that has come with them. In the midst of raging cyclones, families have watched as their homes are ripped off their pilings. Others have huddled together in community halls as the wall collapses and floodwaters arise. Farmers have seen years of hard work, as well as their income and their dignity as breadwinners, washed away in hours. And in the aftermath, there are the children in Fiji who have stood in the records of what were once their classrooms. Many of them still shudder when they hear the rumble of heavy rains. And then there is the slower and more insidious terror of seeing a community lose ground, inch by inch, to the encroaching waters, eroding any hope that the children will inherit your home, your fishing grounds, your cultural landmarks, and the land your ancestors are buried. And when farmers look the future of their fields, erratic weather has robbed them of certainty. It's not only floods, but longer droughts that can kill crops while encroaching seawater ruins their soil. Fijians are not weathering these storms, these horrors as helpless victims. For every story of sorrow there are 10 more to tell of strength and courage. Our rallying cry that we are stronger together than any cyclone has spurred us in our campaign to build back better. We are adapting and we are improving our systems of disaster warning and readiness. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say I'm tired of applauding my people's resilience. Resilience should not be about testing the limits of a nation's grit. It should not be a test of people's ability to find happiness amid challenging and dangerous circumstances, as Fijians are often known to do. In the context of frontline of climate risk, resilience is about access to resources. It is seawalls, it is stronger homes and schools, it is parametric insurance, it is the safe and equitable relocation of communities, it is about cyclone-proofing infrastructure. Here at COP26, it is about delivering on the $100 billion promise and making sure that finance is affordable and used effectively. In small island development states, we have no choice but to put all our resources to work now to save lives and set an example the world can follow. I say we are setting an example because while we stand on the front line of climate change, we are also on the cutting edge of climate innovation and the systematic change required to rise to the challenge we face. Resilience building cannot be achieved through pilot projects alone. It must become a full-time sector of the Fijian economy if we are to stand any chance to protect and raise living standards in a warmer world. It must become the full-time occupation, not of hundreds of Fijians, but of hundreds of thousands. and we are laying the legal foundation upon which a resilient, sustainable, and net zero Fiji can be built. Can I have a copy of this Climate Change Act? This, Your Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, this is our North Star, a newly passed Climate Change Act that recognizes that climate change is a threat to the rights and freedoms of all Fijians. It sets net zero emissions target for 2050 and our target to sustainably manage 100% of our ocean with 30% as MPAs, marine protected areas. A mission we are working towards with the UK government. It establishes a legal framework that recognizes carbon sequestration, property rights, and incentivizes the protection of our carbon stocks through emissions reduction projects. It holds our private sector accountable for their carbon footprint through transport reporting. It charges relevant agencies to conduct climate risk assessments and ensures that approval for new buildings and infrastructure projects is only granted if the proposal is Paris compliant and climate risks sensitized. It recognizes that we must not only adapt our physical infrastructure but also our legal architecture if we are to withstand and manage climate shocks. It is our hope that our foresight today empowers tens of thousands of Fijian children who watch their country devastated by cyclones to dedicate themselves to building a more resilient nation as they progress through life, so that their children can be spared from much worse. That, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, is the future we want. That is the future we are working for. I urge all of you here to work with us. We eagerly seek partnerships to create scalable solutions that start in Fiji and grow to help build a more resilient world. As we say in Fiji, Voreqe. And it says on the wall, it's time to deliver on high climate ambition. No excuses. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.